I just feel good about the makeup. I feel good about our game management. I feel good about our ability to play in close games and get that goal or get that PK or whatever. So yeah, I mean it's never going to be perfect. It's never a straight line trajectory. We didn't play our best towards the end of right to the end of the first part of the regular season before the break, but just feel confident in the group.
The PK seems like it's so much improved to me.
Yeah.
When you're out there, what feels different about it?
I think for the most part we just know where each other are going to be, and like the reads are maybe a little bit. There is difficult reads, but I feel like we've had a lot of the same pairings for most of the year now, so you kind of get a little bit of chemistry with your partner, and you can kind of know where he's going to be, and the difficult reads can become a little bit more seamless. But yeah, I feel really good about where the PK is at. There's always stretches where we weren't perfect, but yeah, I think we've done a really good job, and need to continue that, especially in the face-off circle. And if we can get a little bit more aggressive at times, I think it should be really good down the stretch.
What was that drill like there at the end there?
Yeah, it brought me back to my freshman football days. Just tackling drills, everyone going through them. Yeah, I think it's just to get a little contact, fight through a little bit, battle type conditioning as opposed to just the pure skating type conditioning that you saw yesterday. So yeah, it was fun. Some guys were definitely taking extra shots at some other guys that maybe thought they deserved it over the course of the first 58. So it was fun in there.
Well, who fared well? It looked like Elmer with his size was.
I don't know if there's like a good and a bad. I think it's just everyone kind of goes through it together. I'm sure some guys took some extra shots at the rookies. Maybe some other guys that have been mouthing off throughout the first part of the year. Maybe a little bit extra fight. So I think everyone let Kaner kind of go through easy.
Yeah. I know it's only day 2, but do you feel like the legs are getting back under you guys? And
yeah, it felt way better today. I think most of the guys skated in some capacity, and everyone took care of themselves. But you come back and the speed of the practice and all that, and still 12 days, 14 days away from the team. You're going to feel it a little bit, and yesterday's, especially the start of practice, was very, very high pace. So yeah, today I think everyone felt a lot better today. I think our execution was way better today. I think our execution definitely got better throughout practice today too. So yeah, we just got to keep ramping it up and keep putting in the work now, because it's gonna pay dividends when everyone's coming back. And we're lucky enough to have, unfortunately for Mo, but he had played a great tournament, but he'll be back sooner. And then obviously one of Lark's or Ray will be back sooner too. So they'll get some rest, which will be huge for us. And but we got basically a full team. Some of the other teams have like 10 guys, so it's nice that at least we have basically a full group.
It's kind of odd to have this long of I don't know if you've ever had.
No, this long of a break sucks. Everyone enjoys Florida for I had a great time.
Sure.
Got to see my family and got to spend some good time with my family, but 12 days, and then it's it's kind of a vacation, but it's not really a vacation. We got 24 huge games to go, and yeah, it's a little long for my liking, but I mean, to get the guys in the Olympics, it's definitely worth it.
Is there any friendly wagers between some of the U.S. and?
Oh yeah, there's some friendly and unfriendly wagers going on, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know if I can speak to too many of them at this point, but there'll be some banter for sure this afternoon.
You talked about going into the break and only 2 5-on-5 goals the last 5 games. What's the key to unlocking a little more offense there?
Yeah, well, I think getting hopefully Simon's back. I think that's a huge help, and I think when we break pucks out clean, we get cleaner entries, and we'll get more offense. So we gotta get a little bit more around the net, bear down around the net. We've had a lot of chances. I mean, me in particular had a great day backdoor from Cat in the Colorado game, and then my line as a whole had a lot of good chances in the Utah game that we couldn't bury. So you're gonna go through stretches, but we gotta find a way to get out of the stretch too. You gotta get the hot stretches to offset the stretches where we're cold. So I think we're due for a little bit of goal scoring, so hopefully we can get going right away in that aspect.
I got away for a little bit, but it's mostly rehab during the time.
So how do you feel right now? You ready to go?
Well, I feel better every day. It was my 3rd time on ice, I think, so for me it's just going to get back to strength, everything. After doing a surgery, it feels, of course, weak everywhere, but yeah, it's a process, and I hope that I can be there first game.
Was it the Toronto game, or was it something that was lingering, or what?
I played with it for a while, so yeah, it's good to finally don't have any pain in my knee. But yeah, it's a process, and the break came up good, so yeah, felt good.
So you feel like you're going to be there, but it's just not 100% yet, you think? Or?
I'm gonna take it day by day. We have a good connection between me, the coaches, and the training staff. So we're gonna keep talking. Right, I don't know just right now. I don't want to say anything, but I'm gonna do everything to be there for the first game back.
You and Mo have been arguably the top defensive pairing in the NHL all season. Just how difficult was it to have to watch rather than actually play on the ice with your teammates?
Oh, it sucks. It's probably the worst feeling you have. You sit there and you feel you can make a difference, but you can't really do anything when you sit on the side. So, it sucks for sure.
Was this something that had been lingering for a while before you actually came out of the lineup, or did it happen in that last game?
It was lingering for a while, and then at the last game I felt something even more. So then that was like the last drop that I needed to really like do the surgery. I thought I could go the whole season without doing it, but yeah, when I felt that and I couldn't really put weight on my knee, then I was like, it happened in the first period in Toronto game. So I think it was all the adrenaline that made me play the whole game, and then the next day it was just a no-go. So yeah, I'm glad that we got a surgery time so quick. Recovery and everything has been great. So I'm just hoping I could be there for the first game.
I think you took the pregame skate in Minnesota too, didn't you? Or
Yeah.
were you thinking about even still going that game too? Or?
Well, I was trying. I didn't want to go out, of course. I didn't want to leave my teammates like that. So I was trying, but yeah, it didn't work.
With this long of a break between games for this group, how do you guys approach the back half of the season here? Is it a new season? Is it a continuation? How does this group mentally prepare for this stretch?
Of course, it's continue of the season, and the last 24 games is always harder than the first 24 games. So we know where we are in the standings. We know what we have to do to really be where we want to be after those 24 games, and the intensity on the ice and the work ethic compared to last year, I feel like it's everybody is in a different spot, and we feel we have high demands on each other, and everybody works hard out there. You can feel it. They feel the talk in the locker room. So you don't want to get too excited, but you want to feel like we got something going on.
What did you learn from the last two late season runs that you guys have had, and what it takes to succeed in them?
The first one was, of course, a point away, and that one sucked. But it's those small details, like the mistakes. Of course, mistakes gonna happen, but you need to be consistent every time out there, and that's what I think we learned during this season. That's why we are where we are today. Game management and everything like that, where we've been talking about so much. So it's a lot that's been a lot better this year.
It was yesterday, Lucas Raymond actually set Swedish hockey history, first player, I think, to have 3 points in consecutive games. Just how big is that for hockey for you back home? And just what does it mean being obviously a Swedish teammate with Lucas as well?
I'm not surprised that he took the record, honestly. He's a phenomenal player, phenomenal passer, and you see when he's surrounded by that great of skill, when he has the puck, he creates something all the time. So all I can say is that I'm impressed, and I know how hard he works every summer. I work with him every summer, and you can see how dedicated he is for this team, for the national team, and he really wants something every time he's on the ice. So it's impressive to watch.
Thanks.
Well, Todd, with that drill along the boards there on the main rink there that Andrew a couple of minutes ago said it kind of brought him back to his youth football days. Was that something that you had kind of had planned, or was that just kind of a way to kind of get some contact?
Well, I've used that in the past. Obviously, haven't here yet, and it's it is a real strenuous drill. It takes your heart rate up, puts you in a situation where there's some contact and some wrestling. And it's a little bit of team building. Guys, they don't want to do it every day, but the first few times they do it, they have a little bit of fun with it. So, we got heart rates up. Sports science department will be happy that we got some contact in and did some of those things, and I hope the guys had a little bit of fun with it.
And then on the practice rink, it looked like Gibby was a bit shaken up. He was kind of crouched over for a little bit, but he stayed out there. Is everything all right on that end?
Yeah, I didn't even notice that, so could be tired. He's faced a lot of pucks in 2 days, so.
It seems like Edvinsson, like you said yesterday, Edvinsson's on his way back. What have you thought about his growth this year, Todd? I mean, even playing over the injury and all that, how's he progressed?
His curve is where we think it should be. And I use the word runway a lot. There's a lot of runway left there for him to grow into his position in the game, and both offensively and defensively. But his ability to skate, his range, and learning how to use that's getting better, I think. Probably an underrated passer. Makes a lot of smart, long passes out of our end to spring guys. So I just think he's growing. He's getting better with a lot left, and that's a real good thing for him and for us.
And one more, you mentioned the Olympics. Crosby got hurt there. Is that the flip side to all this? It's like, it's great hockey, but boy, you hate to see some of the guys like that get banged up in that situation.
Yeah. And really any guys. Like, we think about the NHL, but we have Edward Trollmarks there, and he's a big impact player for Grand Rapids, so we don't want him to get injured. The European teams, but any athlete that goes to the Olympic runs the risk of injury, not just the hockey players, and that's the dream of all of them. So we could lose, knock on wood, we could lose a player or two in practice today. You can't live your life in a bubble, so that's part of the risk.
You talked yesterday about the 5-on-5 offense, and besides kind of finishing the chances you already have, is there anything you've kind of identified that you guys can do better at 5-on-5?
Well, the part of your question about finishing the chances is, that's primary. In reviewing, so today we worked a lot on entries and forecheck with the puck, and then having to give it up and taking our best clips. So during the year, we have a library of, we call them foundation clips, where it's about as good as we can do it. And looking at maybe 100 or 200 forecheck clips and 100 or 200 entry clips, the amount of opportunity that we created and didn't finish just because we were a little bit off or didn't have the polish, maybe didn't get to the net for a rebound, there was a lot of that. Now, I've done that in the past with other teams, and it shows up as well. We just got to convert a little bit more. Now, how can we do that? We can get to the net. I think our ability to screen goaltenders has to get better, and you don't do that off the rush or you're offside every time. You can't screen a goaltender on a 3-on-2. You really can't. But your ozone play, where you move the puck, how you create the shot, and when you create the shot, we can do a better job of that. When we don't have anything, where can we lay the puck to go get it again? All parts of the game that we have to continue to work on.
And then it looks like you'll be getting at least 2 guys back on the early side now. Do you plan to give them any? Do you want to throw them kind of right in? How do you handle?
No, we'll give them some time. They need, they've adapted now to a different time zone. They need a bit of rest as far as that goes. They haven't had any time off. So Mo, for example, I'll talk to him later on today, and we'll talk about his plans, how he's feeling, where he's at injury-wise, anything nagging, and then we'll determine when he'll come back and join the team. And we'll either get Larks or Razor back later today. Just unfortunately, one of them has to be coming back. So I expect whoever the 2 are to join the group together, and then the third one, depending on how long he goes, and adjust his schedule a little bit.
The veterans are used to, they've had this kind of a break, maybe not this long before, but mid-season break like last year. But just some of the rookies like Finney, Sandin Pellikka, what's the challenge for them in restarting and trying to maintain what they showed the first half?
Well, we fail to think about what the junior leagues do. Like when I was coaching in junior, we'd play till December, 18th, whenever school ended, and we'd come back a week or 9 days later. So they have had the break, maybe not quite this long, but they've had the break. When my son played in college, depending on the schedule that you're on and whether you're in a Christmas tournament, you can be off for three weeks, 3.5 weeks without any type of game. So a lot of the players have experienced this, maybe not at the National Hockey League level. The younger legs should be fresher, quicker, and be able to skate more and get their game. The older ones are going to take a little bit longer. The older ones' experience with it at the NHL level will set their internal clock to being ready to go when it's time to go. The younger ones will be trying to figure that part out, maybe.
You talk about team building earlier. In terms of where you've seen the team chemistry and just group cohesiveness grow from day one to now, how do you assess that growth, and where are you seeing that most show up in this group?
We evaluate a lot more in this building, on the plane, on the road, at the rink. But a lot of the team building happens away from the rink with the guys, the fun they have, the stories they tell, card games on the plane, whatever they're doing. There's a lot of camaraderie that's built there. So we stay out of their way when they're doing those things. They don't need us around. But at the rink, I think the commitment from one player to the other, regardless of position, stature on the team, has grown throughout the year so far, which means the belief system's a little bit higher. And those are real positive things. When you believe you still have a chance, when you're still in it, you're prepared to give a little bit more in practice and work harder at things. As you fall out of it, that tends to diminish. So we haven't seen any of that, which is a real good sign. I call that part of it team building. And sometimes the drills that we do on the ice, we challenge each other, or forwards versus D versus whoever it might be. Try and set scenarios up like that to create a concept or a drill, but also create a little bit of fun and competitiveness in it.
Todd, these one-game knockouts now in that tournament, you've coached the world. Do you coach differently, or how do you go about that?
Well, you coach to win. I think when you get to those situations, the last thing you're worried about is somebody's feelings, which is unfortunate. But there's world-class athletes over there, and Team Canada, Team US, on all the teams. But you guys have spent months and months and months talking about, well, this guy maybe should have went and that guy should have, and why did they take him? Well, now the coaches are there going, well, we're not even going to play. We're going to 3 lines. You 6 or 7 guys aren't even going to play now. And that's how you coach in those. You throw everything on that you can on the ice, and then you move on to the next one. You recover as quick as you can. So you don't and you can't worry about feelings. You try and figure out who's playing well in those situations, and you try and get them on the ice as much as you can. And simple as that. At least for me it was in that situation.